hip-hop classics, I make them and got them. And your group ain't been heard of past the bottom.
People these days only know Mack 10 as Ice Cube's old partner, the dude he fell out with, but that's barely scratching the surface.
There's lighter shade, there's darker shade, but in the middle, fucking we meet, man. It's all west at the end of the day. It don't get more west than to my left. And when I say left, it's also west. Mack 10, what's up, brother?
What's happening with you, bro?
Mack 10 isn't just some forgotten name, he's a true West Coast legend who helped shape an entire era of hip-hop.
With my G's, I got one word to say about that one. What, please? Chicken Hawk, y'all ain't worth a feather in my wing.
Back in the rise of Westside Connection, Mack wasn't just standing next to Ice Cube and WC, he was a major piece of what made that group iconic. From 1995 to 1998, he dropped 3 back-to-back gold albums, racking up over 11 million sales. That's serious weight in the game.
And all this hating, just let me know I'm doing my thing.
But even with all that success, Mack 10 never hit the same superstar level as Cube. Things started slipping when their friendship crashed and burned. It was like watching a powerhouse crumble in real time. And just when people thought it couldn't get worse, drama started hitting from every direction.
We got bulletproof vests 96 I'm leaving fly bitches and Johnny Cameron dresses. With a neck full of easy situation looking. 20,000 in my pocket and I'm still focused.
Then came the accusations, the restraining order, and the messy divorce that had his name plastered all over the headlines. His career took a huge hit, and the public barely recognized the man who once ran the West. So how did someone with that much talent and respect get pulled into chaos that almost erased his legacy? Let's break it down, because Mack 10's biggest problem started with Ice Cube.
What that? Let me make it plain and simple. You claim the wrong, then we gon' be bustin' like a pimple to my very last breath. I'm an Inglewood swing.
Westside Connection used to roll like one unstoppable force, 3 kings moving with one voice. But behind all that unity, things started falling apart when drama around Ice Cube's brother-in-law pulled Mack 10 right into the fire. According to Mack, it all kicked off because Cube's brother-in-law kept crossing lines. The guy wasn't even part of the business, yet he kept inserting himself, and as Mack put it, kept showing him straight up disrespect.
Hey, we out here, we doing it, man.
Hey, it's an honor just to be here, man. I remember seeing you at the 95 car show when you was doing the Fold Live thing, and I remember you signed my hat, bro. And
Mack tried to keep his cool, though. He said he went to Cube 4 or 5 times just trying to settle things quietly and keep peace in the camp. But you can only hold back for so long before things explode. Eventually, it all came to a head, and Cube's brother-in-law got into it with Mack's crew and ended up getting roughed up. Mack swears Cube wasn't touched. They only traded heated words. He figured once things calmed down, they could patch things up and move on.
I'm an artist, but I'm a fan first. Feel me? Like, that's why I keep my ear to the street. I always got to, because I got to see the youngsters to the OGs, man. I got nothing but respect for you, brother.
But then came the twist that sealed their fate. Cube's wife saw the confrontation, and from that point on, the bond was shattered for good. Cube later said the situation felt like a betrayal that couldn't be overlooked, while Mack 10 stood firm, refusing to apologize for something he didn't think was wrong.
Yeah, I really appreciate that, bro. I was just telling you, man, you don't age or nothing, bro. You look the same. Like, you know what I'm saying? You look the same.
Just don't tell my wife how old I am, bro. We 13 years apart, you know?
All right. Yeah.
Neither man would back down, and just like that, Westside Connection was done. Losing that group was a major blow for Mack 10, but the next storm that hit him would strike even deeper, right inside his own home. Once everything hit the public eye, there was no turning back. While fans were still trying to figure out what really went down between Mack 10 and Ice Cube.
Yeah, mine's, we 15 years apart.
Yeah.
So you know how it go.
Yeah. You know, that part, hey, I did radio at 9E, right? At 99 went for like 23 years, bro. And you pulled up, and this is a classic story, 'cause we told this after.
A whole new storm was already brewing behind closed doors. His marriage to T-Boz from TLC was crumbling, and it wasn't quiet or clean. What looked like a power couple from the outside was actually falling apart fast, with emotions running wild and tempers flaring.
He was a kid, like 14, 15 years old or something when I was around him, you know?
The Big Timers were fucking lit.
Big Timers was good. Big Timers was good, but Junior was a special talent, like a different kind of motherfucker. Like he was.
When things hit the breaking point, T-Boz went straight to court. She accused Mack 10 of being violent, threatening, and emotionally abusive, saying she feared for her safety, and even claimed he once tried to force his way into her home.
I knew he was incredible. Like when he was a kid, I told Stunner, this boy here gonna be the business. He gonna be the shit for real.
These were serious accusations, way too serious for the media to ignore, and the story spread like wildfire overnight.
You guys had sessions together back then and all that?
Oh yeah, we was like a family, huh?
Right.
Like I was around, like around. And we was all around each other, like for real. And you know, Wayne was young.
But Mack 10 didn't just stay silent. He came out strong, saying none of it was true. He claimed the marriage was already falling apart long before things got public and that everything was being blown out of proportion. He felt like the world only heard one side.
For my whole lifespan, cause evil lurks the land. Plus I got a packet with this Inglewood jacket. Gotta hold it, keep it loaded, devoted, fist quoted.
And by the time he tried to defend himself, it was too late. That's the thing about public scandals, they move lightning fast. Headlines started flooding in, gossip was everywhere, and fans who once had his back suddenly went quiet. Even radio stations started whispering about the drama, and Mack's image took a major hit that was hard to shake off.
But I could tell at a young age he was gonna be probably the best.
Once the rumors spread, the music industry started looking at Mack 10 with a whole different lens. The respect he once had began to fade fast. It all hit him right after Westside Connection broke apart. First he lost his crew, and now his marriage was falling apart in front of the whole world. His career started crashing quicker than anyone could have imagined.
For sure, one note, got the ups on these prices while my world keep twisting as a Westside gangster. Bold life, nigga, sing it.
In less than 2 years, Mack 10 went from being a chart-topping West Coast icon to standing alone, surrounded by controversy and trying to rebuild everything from the ground up. But to understand how he went from superstar status to almost broke, we gotta rewind the story and look at where it all began.
What's your relationship? I mean, we always hear that you and Cube don't have much of a relationship, but is there any sort of like world in which you guys get together, maybe do another Westside Connection, have a conversation?
Like I said earlier, I fuck with who fuck with me.
Because Mack 10 wasn't just another rapper fronting a gangster image, his roots ran deep. Born Dedrick Rollison in Inglewood, California, he came up right in the middle of the gang explosion that shaped the 90s. And this wasn't something he faked for the cameras. He lived it day in and day out.
You dig? That's where I'm at with it. If you fuck with me, I fuck with you. But if it's fuck me, it's fuck you. Like I fuck with who fuck with me, Kev. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't seen him or talked to him in damn near 20 years, so there it is.
That's so crazy. What about Dub C?
That raw experience gave him real credibility, the kind that the streets respected and fans could feel in every lyric he dropped. His authenticity wasn't for show, it was who he was. That's what made him a perfect fit for Westside Connection, bringing that raw, street-born energy that couldn't be copied, but that same realness that pushed him to the top also carried danger. It was like a ticking clock. Every move in that world came with a cost, setting the stage for the kind of street-level drama that would one day tear his career apart.
Same thing?
Fuck with who fuck with me, man.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, man, it's just, man, y'all got classics together, bruh.
I totally understand.
Classics.
I totally get it. But you know, I'm just the kind of guy that, you know, I rock with who rock with me.
I respect that, man.
Yeah.
I think most people should live by that law.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, back in the 80s, Inglewood wasn't just rough, it was exploding. The crack era hit Los Angeles like a storm. And according to Mack 10, Queen Street looked like a freeway packed with cars lined up to score. The neighborhood changed overnight, danger was everywhere, and chaos became normal. Violence shot through the roof. Streets were suddenly filled with Uzis, AK-47s, and automatic pistols.
There's the right size of bag, though. Someone comes in with the right bag, you know, to do Bow Down 2.0.
I mean, I'm a businessman.
Yeah. You get the bag. You said you get to the bag.
I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
And it ain't never been me, you know.
Heavy firepower most people had never even seen before. For a kid growing up there, it felt like survival was the only goal. Mack 10 once said that during junior high and high school, losing friends wasn't shocking, it was expected. But even in all that madness, he wasn't doomed to fall. See, Mack 10 wasn't just another kid from the block, he was a star athlete at Englewood High.
With the hold up, it ain't never been my personality or who I am with the hold up of us doing something. It ain't never been me as the hold up, you feel me? But I fuck with who fuck with me.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Hey, respect.
He rocked a green Letterman jacket, the same color worn by certain blood sets, and dreamed big. He truly believed he could make it to the NFL. Football was his escape, his shot at a better life, his ticket out of the chaos. But the streets had their own pull, too strong to ignore. He even dropped a line that summed up that struggle perfectly. I gave up sports to slang keys, but blamed it on my knees. That line showed the heart of Mack 10's story. 1 foot deep in the hood, the other trying hard to run free.
Yeah, it's 23. So I had to let my hair down on you niggas. I'm back.
And as the dream of football started fading, something new began to rise. Hip hop. Mack started rhyming in junior high and linked up with a local rap group called First Amendment.
For you, do you feel like, because you're kind of like behind the scenes now, you're not as visible as maybe some of your peers when we think of West Coast legends these days. Do you feel like you get the love and respect you deserve when we talk about that?
Yeah, but most of all, I feel like I get the money.
That's all that matters.
You feel me?
That moment planted the first seeds of what would soon grow into a career that took him from the blocks of Inglewood straight into rap history. Before long, Mack 10's name was echoing through the neighborhood, not just as that kid from Queen Street, but as someone who could really write.
That's the kind of guy I am.
Yeah.
They could have all that other shit. Give me the bag.
I respect that
Feel
shit.
me? I don't give a fuck about famous.
His bars hit different, and people started paying attention. That raw talent soon connected him with a legend who would change his entire life, Eazy-E.
None of that.
Yeah.
I care about the bag.
That's some real shit.
You know?
That's some real shit.
Yeah. So like if I cared about famous, it wouldn't have took me 14 years to do another record.
Right.
Mack met Eazy through a mutual friend from the block, and for him, Eazy wasn't just another rapper. He was godlike in West Coast rap. Eazy instantly respected Mack's writing skills and saw something real in him. That meeting was the moment that lit the fuse. Everything started moving from there.
It's been that long?
Yeah, 2009.
That was the last time you put out music?
Yeah, I put an album out, yeah.
Jesus.
So if I cared about famous,
Mack would drop verses, and Eazy would hand him little bits of cash straight out of his sock, but it wasn't about the money, it was about the respect. When someone like Eazy-E co-signed your bars, you knew you had something special. That validation pushed Mack 10 to go even harder, sharpening his craft and staying close to the right people.
and with this internet shit and everything how it is, you know I would have been in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But I've been getting to the bag, so you know that's you know I feel good about that.
Instead of getting dragged deeper into street chaos, he focused on building real industry connections with names like DJ Pooh, Bobcat, and the Lynch Mob. That network was his foundation, setting him up for the biggest turning point of his life. Through the Lynch Mob crew, Mack 10 got introduced to none other than Ice Cube, one of the biggest names in the world at the time.
Is there ever a chance we could get a Westside Connection reunion with you, Dub, and Mack 10?
Probably not.
Dang.
Probably not. I don't want to do another Westside Connection.
Yeah, yeah.
I fuck with who fuck with me, kid. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? And I ain't seen him or talked to him in damn near 20 years, so there it is.
When you get
He
him
tells
on,
his side.
of course he do. Of course he do.
Cube immediately caught Mack's vibe. He saw the confidence, the hunger, and that unmistakable fire. Mack spit a few lines, and Cube knew instantly that this guy had star power. That spark led to Mack 10 landing his first features on Da Lynch Mob's track Cutthroats and Cube's What Can I Do remix. Not long after, Mack 10 signed a deal with Priority Records, with Ice Cube personally making sure the paperwork was solid and fair. That was the start of something huge.
It ain't never been me, you know, with the hold up. It ain't never been my personality or who I am with the hold up of us doing something. It ain't never been me as the hold up. You feel me?
I don't want to talk about it, to be honest, because he know what it is. That's all that need to matter to me. He know what it is.
I totally understand.
Classics.
I totally get it. But you know, I'm just the kind of guy that, you know, I rock with who rock with.
Mack 10 was officially stepping into the spotlight. Then came 1995, and Mack 10 was ready to make his mark for real. He dropped his self-titled debut album, packed with raw street energy, and the now classic anthem Faux Life, produced by Ice Cube himself. The beat was wild. Mack called it bananas, and fans went crazy for it. The project blew up fast, going gold in just 6 weeks, officially making Mack 10 one of the fastest rising stars on the entire West Coast.
Big fish in a small pond. Now the fish trying to throw they foot. Man, I cook when I shook. They worm and they hook. Got me told they grip. They wanna miss me when I'm tipsy. Running everything west.
Around that same time, Mack linked up with WC on the track West Up, and their chemistry was undeniable. The way they bounced off each other was next level, and that collab laid the foundation for something massive, the creation of the supergroup Westside Connection alongside Ice Cube. This wasn't just another rap crew, they became a movement. Their music didn't just top charts, it reshaped the sound of the West. Even though some East Coast radio stations refused to play their tracks, millions of fans across the country couldn't get enough. By the late 90s, Mack 10 wasn't just a rapper, he was a respected street figure, a savvy businessman, and one of the pillars of an era that defined gangsta rap. But the higher he climbed, the shakier the ground beneath him got. At his absolute peak, the cracks were already starting to show. By the mid-1990s, Mack 10 had earned a new reputation. He was known as the West Coast enforcer, the one who'd ride for Ice Cube without hesitation. Loyalty wasn't just something he talked about, it was a rule, a code. If Cube had beef, Mack 10 had beef. No questions, no second thoughts. And one of the biggest examples of that loyalty came during the legendary Ice Cube versus Common feud. The tension started back in 1994 when Common dropped his poetic track, I Used to Love H.E.R., a song about the changing state of hip-hop. Common said it wasn't aimed at anyone specific, but Cube took it personally, like it was a direct shot at the West Coast and the rise of gangsta rap. Cube wasn't about to let that slide, so he fired back quick, and Mack 10 was right there ready to ride. Ice Cube didn't waste time firing back. He came for Common hard on Mack 10's debut album with the track Westside Slaughterhouse. It was a full-on statement from the West, letting everyone know they weren't backing down from anybody.
We got the woman pucker up, so we sucker up. Before I make a phone call, got 25 killers running up on y'all for the street. We want the keys, everybody free, on your knees.
But Common wasn't about to stay quiet either. He clapped back with a razor-sharp diss track, calling Cube out for what he saw as contradictions that couldn't be ignored. Now here's the thing. Mack 10 wasn't caught up in the lyrical back and forth. He didn't care about dissecting rhymes or hidden meanings. He didn't even bother listening to the diss track. His code was simple. If that's your homie, you ride for him, no questions asked. To Mack, loyalty came first. Right or wrong didn't matter.
See if I know this shit. 360 degrees, like my knees, the world be spinning. Niggas get sentenced since the beginning. History's a trip, so I peep when I'm reading. So they probably grew weed in the garden of Eden.
The tension got so serious that Minister Louis Farrakhan himself had to step in and organize a peace summit in Chicago in 1997. That summit officially ended the feud, but anyone who knows how the streets work knows that peace on paper doesn't always mean peace in real life. About a year later, Mack 10, Common, and Fat Joe all ended up on the same Sprite commercial set in Los Angeles, and not everyone had let the beef go. According to Mack, one of Common's crew members, not Common himself, kept staring him down, full of that leftover tension. Mack noticed it immediately and stepped up to confront him. Things got hot fast. When the guy threw out a disrespectful remark, the energy shifted instantly. Mack signaled for his boy to run to the car, ready for whatever was coming, but before it could go too far, Fat Joe jumped in and shut it down. Joe, who Mack calls his brother for life, stopped the moment from spiraling out of control and possibly turning into something that couldn't be undone. Common later admitted the tension that day came from his friend, not from him. Even so, things didn't end smoothly. The friend got kicked off set, and according to reports, he damaged Mack 10's car outside before leaving.
These folks keep rolling, 6 cars and loot, it's like bitches get scammed and fight for getting through. But bitches don't deal with that shit on the west side, and since they regulate the shit, I roll with the best side. And my lifetime is ticking, coming up strong, licking and flipping chickens, need cheese in the mouth and cheese. I gave up sports to slay peas, but painted on my knees.
Word spread fast around LA that Mack 10's crew was gearing up to strike back, but once again, Fat Joe stepped in and cooled everything down before it could explode. A warning was passed, lines were drawn, and finally the fire burned out. Today, Mack 10 and Common are cool. They've grown past it, showing each other mutual respect with zero bad blood. But back in the day, that wasn't the end of Mack's loyalty-driven battles, because after that, he found himself deep in another storm, this time involving Cypress Hill. The beef started over the Friday movie soundtrack and Cypress Hill's song, Throw Your Set in the Air. When Ice Cube didn't end up getting that track, Cypress Hill felt he copied their hook style for his song Friday.
Make sure I got what I need to make up your order, everything from baby triple beans to chucks from my water, like a space race, a bitch, a world full of drama. Drug paraphernalia being found by my mama. Trauma brings the sad song. Your mama sings your serve to ass. You on your way to kill a king, nigga. So now I I stand with heat in hand.
That sparked serious tension. What started as creative frustration turned into straight-up betrayal and anger, quickly escalating into a full-blown war on wax. Cypress Hill fired first with their diss track, No Rest for the Wicked. Mack 10 didn't stop to ask questions. He jumped right into the fight with the reply, King of the Hill, coming at them immediately. What made it even crazier was that some Cypress Hill members were Bloods, just like Mack 10. But to him, Cube came first. No hesitation, no debate. Mack admitted later he didn't even know what the original problem was. He just heard Cube had an issue, and that was all he needed to move. The situation didn't stay just on records either. It spilled into the streets of LA. At one point, local rapper Solo allegedly snatched Ice Cube's chain and even held the Westside Connection chain up on stage during a Cypress Hill concert. That moment lit the city up, turning a rap feud into something much bigger and way more dangerous. Surprisingly, it was Mack 10 who ended up being the one to cool off the fire. Someone passed him B-Real's number and Mack decided to reach out directly. He called, laid everything out honestly, and explained where he stood. B-Real respected the realness, and just like that, the tension finally faded. When the smoke cleared from the beefs, the broken friendships, and the fading fame, Mack 10 had to face something no artist ever wants to face: life after the spotlight. The tours got smaller, the label support dried up, and the mainstream world had already moved on to the next wave. But instead of forcing a desperate comeback, Mack flipped the script completely, and it was genius. He stopped being the product and started becoming the boss who owned the product. By the time he dropped Soft White in 2009, he could already see the game was changing fast. Album sales across the whole industry were falling apart, and radio spins didn't mean what they used to. That's when Mack 10 realized what most rappers still refuse to admit. The real money wasn't in CDs or chart numbers anymore. It was all about owning the stage and controlling the live experience. So in 2012, Mack 10 made his next big move. He stepped into the world of concert promotion, and he didn't just dive in blindly. He brought every ounce of street smarts, hustle, and tactical thinking that once made him a Westside Connection enforcer. He started running shows, booking talent, and making plays with the same precision he once used to dominate the rap scene. Mack 10 turned what could have been the end of his story into a whole new chapter, one where he called the shots, owned the stage, and proved that real hustlers never fade, they just reinvent the game. At first, Mack 10 started small. He booked just 17 shows and made sure he was the headliner at every single one. No big tours, no outside investors, just small venues, low risk, and total control. This was his way of learning the game firsthand, step by step. If a show failed, he took the loss himself. Not some label, not another artist, just him. Once he figured out how to make it work, he scaled up fast. Those tight little club shows turned into packed theaters, and soon those theaters evolved into massive amphitheaters. Before long, he was filling entire arenas. Mack 10 wasn't just performing anymore, he was running the show. He began managing full tours and producing events for some of the biggest names in music: Lil Wayne, Cardi B, Snoop Dogg, Wiz Khalifa, the list goes on. Mack had quietly flipped a career crisis into a multi-million-dollar empire, and he did it all behind the scenes. His business model was sharp, clean, and built to last. When talking about his strategy, Mack described it perfectly. One show is one spoke on a wheel. If it breaks, the wheel collapses, but volume keeps the wheel turning. That line said it all. His success wasn't built on luck. It was engineered through strategy, patience, and pure hustle. But his smartest move came off stage. When the 2008 housing crash hit and everyone else panicked, Mack 10 stayed calm. He refused to sell off his properties at a loss. Instead, he waited, betting that the value would bounce back, and he was right. Years later, that patience paid off big time. His real estate portfolio is now almost fully paid off, generating steady income and complete financial freedom. And that's not all. Mack 10 still owns 100% of his publishing rights. No middlemen, no missing checks, no label slicing into his money. Every dollar goes directly to him. Like Mack once said, people remember the rapper, they forget the executive. The truth is, fans know the hits, but the real story is about the businessman who built lasting wealth when the fame faded away. Mack 10 had already done what most artists never even dream of, turning his hustle into legacy-level success. Mack 10 didn't just make it through hip-hop, he survived it. Not just the music charts or the industry politics, but the real danger behind the lifestyle. He lived through eras that broke countless artists, dodged financial traps that wiped out entire generations of rappers, and came out the other side stronger than ever. So when he finally reappeared after years of silence, it wasn't out of desperation or a need for clout, it was because, for the first time in forever, he truly felt like himself again. After nearly a decade away from the mic, Mack 10 said the spark returned in the simplest way. One morning he woke up, looked in the mirror, and saw the old Mack 10 staring back at him. And here's the wild part. By then, Mack had already done the impossible. He had the freedom that most artists spend their entire careers chasing. That new energy led him to drop The Red Print, a track that felt like pressing the reset button on life. He even linked up with 211 for a collab that proved Mack 10 still had that same grit and power that made him legendary. But this time, the music wasn't his whole world. It was just one piece of it. These days, his focus is all about family, coaching, and peace. He's running Little League practices, mentoring kids, and even led his team to win a championship. When he looks at his life now, compared to the chaos and violence he came from, he doesn't brag or flex. He just says one word: blessed. Because the truth is, Mack 10 didn't disappear because he failed. He was pushed out by scandal and drama. But while the industry moved on, he refused to fade away. Instead, he built new lanes, created real wealth, and kept his legacy alive. He learned that chasing hits fades, but owning your work lasts forever. Mack 10 might not be as mainstream as he once was, but he's still thriving, on his own terms, with his own rules, and his own success story. He didn't crumble. He evolved, rebuilt, and survived. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Mack 10's untold story, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more real stories behind hip-hop's legends.